So to all of you people out here, YouTube, wherever you are, even if you're here with us today, it doesn't matter because when you hear this message, it is today for you. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Charlotte, the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. And that's what we are. I don't do anything without the three of them. So the title of our talk today is Spiritual Load. Stronger than you know. Thank you, Melissa and Horace, to begin us off. So, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to start with a short centering. Relax your eyes by looking into your lap or closing them if you choose. Now breathe in really deep. Really, come on. And now hold it and then release it really slow. The longer the breath, the easier your nervous system is. So just remember, as you just heard those words, you don't have to hide. Remember that? And everybody has scars that are healing with time. Oh, yes. I think that's true for all of us. We all have something that we either healed or we are healing from. And while healing does take time, it also changes you. You get stronger, wiser, and more committed to your self-care. That's what I want to talk about today. What we're sharing here is something we value deeply. And I just allow anyone who feels fed by it to support it. Our community flows on a sustained, beautiful, generous donations that people like you support us with. So thank you for your part in all of that. And with that energy, open your mind and heart to spiritual load. You already know what the physical load is about, but let's hear what the spiritual load is about. So wiggle your fingers and your toes, connect with your mind, body, and spirit, and now listen to that connection. So, Alan, I love that prayer, how it got started, because the first thing I thought of was how every new challenge in your life places this load on your body, almost like a barbell in the gym. But it's also placed on your mind, your body, and your spirit. And it's not a punishment. I know some of them are heavy sometimes, but it's not a punishment or proof that something is wrong in your life. It's an invitation to adapt. Your oneness with spirit adapts when you sit with yourself to receive insights for your next journey. So when you pick up that load or whatever load is placed on your body and you sit with yourself, you're going to receive insights on what you need to do. So for the body, you might hear, oh, you need some more protein, or you might hear you need more carbs. But see, on the spirit, you might say, well, you need to sit with me a little longer. You need to practice. You need more curiosity. You need to figure out what's going on with you. So to adapt simply means that your body responds to the load placed on it. So that's what fitness is all about. Applying a load and then adapting and then doing what it takes to adapt to it. Make sense? So load, adaptation. Adaptation is adapting. So that word doesn't mess you up because of my tongue. I can't say that word as well, but it's good. So the gift that there's a gift within us, and every single load that we have makes it easier for us to go to the next level, because now what that load did was got us prepared. Get it? So it's not always, now that gift that you find in each one of these loads, it's not always a gift you expected. It's not even the gift that you even wanted sometimes. You're like, what? But when it's over, You'll be glad you went through it. But it's always the gift that you need for your next climb. Now, climbing is a big deal in this talk because every time we make it through that load and we adapt, we're climbing. We're going to the next journey. Get the load. Oh, I don't have enough of this and that. Hold that thing. Hold it. Reps, 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 reps. What is it? Spiritual reps, spiritual practice gives you reps. Come on, keep doing that. Because see, as you heard in my reading, the load's not here to defeat you or diminish you. It is here to push you towards your next climb. And let me tell you, there's going to be one climb after another, or you'll be dead if it's not happening. You know what I mean? You have to understand you're not staying anywhere too long. You're either going to go down or you're going to go up, but it's your choice. See, the climb is one of those loads on the journey of becoming. And some of us go, oh my God, I got to deal with this. I don't know if I want to do this. But I'm not using the word load just because it's in a textbook. It's in plenty of textbooks. This is how we get trained, right? I'm personally can say that I've experienced so many loads in my life, but I know it had to be my mind, body, and spirit that had to take these loads, because if one was faltering, the other picked it up. I've also learned something else. I learned how to adapt to each load I had. It might have taken me a year because I was resistant to change, or it might have taken me a year because I was too linear. You know, if you got to keep at every level of the climb, listen to this. If you, at every level of the climb, you take a days and start analyzing. So this is what really happened. And this is, you're wasting time. Go with it. Say, thanks. But don't spend all those days giving everybody your story about, oh, this is how that went. This is why. Just take the load off when you get to that climb, the next one, because you got to let that go. And that's how you learn to adapt. Every load that's placed on you asks something of you, whether it's from your mind, your body, or the spirit part of you, but it's asking. And the load for the mind, let's start with the load for the mind. The load for the mind asks you, can your thinking move you from fear to trust, or maybe from fear to faith? Here's for the body. Mind, body. So from the load will ask the body, ask you about your body like this. Can your body become stronger with greater resilience and vitality? In other words, will you give it what it needs? That's what it's asking you. And if you don't, oh, well, you know, you lay down and you don't do nothing, like Adam said in the prayer. If you sit down and you decide, I'm just going to eat whatever, then, you know, then that's how you just choose to adapt. Adaptation can show up as sickness. Adaptation can show up as vitality. Then we got the load on the emotions. Now, it can ask you, can you open up your heart to forgive yourself without becoming hard? Don't be so judgmental of yourself. I was just listening to a client yesterday say about her 6-year-old. How did I let that go by? She needs a root canal at this age. She's 7 years old. Why? How did I had her brushing her teeth. Ho. The spiritual load was asking her, because she was just her story. It asked her, can your consciousness expand to meet this load so you can move on? Because what's happening is you're holding on to this stuff at this part of the climb here. And I want just get it done and let's keep going. Adapt, do the job, and let's go. You get what I mean there? See, consciousness is not trying to escape life or avoid or pretend it's not there. It's expanding so it can contain what it is more of that you have in your life. It's trying to contain all your stuff. So you have to allow Just as your body adapts to the load placed on it, consciousness adapts to the load placed on all three pieces: the mind, body, and the spirit. Now, in the fitness world, you're going to hear the word load all the time, because load isn't just lifting a barbell or going for a run or working out. Everything your body has to adapt to. That's what it is. I like starting by talking about the body first, because you feel your own body. Because now once you see what physical load on the body means, now I know you can follow me right into spiritual load. See, now as I continue studying sports medicine, one of the concepts that I learned over the years was called load, but it's just demand placed on your body. And you have to have a demand in order to have supply. I said that. Listen to me. You know supply and demand. So if you have a demand on you and you decide, I'm going to do some spiritual practices because this is not working for me, guess what happens? The supply is right here at your hand if you're looking. But no, if you're still looking at this linear stuff, you're not going to see it. But if you're looking, you're going to see the supply. If it's money that you need to get through that, it's going to be that. If it's support from other people that you're going to need, it's going to be that. Supply and demand. I like that. And all I said was the load is just something to place demand on your body. So put that demand on your life. It may be lifting a heavier weight if you're talking about the body, or exercising longer than you used to. And then there's this yin yoga that many people probably are not aware of. Yin yoga is one powerful adaptation. I love teaching it because what it does, it causes you to sit there and hold that thing, whatever pose it is, breathe through it to endure it so that you adapt to it. And then what happens? Your mind, body, and spirit expands because you've decided that I'll sit here and withdraw it. But guess what happened? The mind was involved, the body was involved, and so was the spirit. You don't sleep on yoga. Don't sleep on it, because as your body feels the demand, it sends you signals. And when you give it what it needs based on the signals like food or rest, it adapts very well to that heavy load you put on it. So when you give your oneness with spirit the practice it needs, you adapt as well. And I remember before I said, oh, I'm not going to take on any more classes. And once I remembered, wait a minute, if you don't take the load, then you're not going to get any more stronger, and you might not get more supply because you decided, okay, I'm done right here. If you're going to be done in certain places, it's going to slow you down. Keep going. Don't stop, because life has loads and life is moving, and you got to keep moving with it. And somewhere along my journey, what I realized, life loads are profitable. See, I call them spiritual loads. That's what I call life in general. The body, the mind, but the spirit load is interesting. Just, certain spirit loads is when you have sudden illness and you didn't expect that. Maybe losing a job. Maybe even you lack self-care. But those are loads. You have to have that self-care. You can't let somebody else take care of you. See, that's what I mean. Just because you got doctors, they're not taking care of you. They're there for their job to do what they need to do, give you your medication, whatever, but you have to apply that self-care. There is not a caretaker alive that's going to be able to take care of me. And I hope you feel the same way. So starting a new chapter in your life can also be a spiritual load. But here's the thing. Happiness can bring on spiritual load, because now you got to get used to that happiness the same way you got used to everything else. So enjoy it. Take it in. Some people can't, oh my God, that was good. So I don't know. Should I wait for another shoe to drop? You get it? Happy times could be a spiritual load for you. Retiring from your job is a spiritual load because you get up in the morning and say, oh, I got to go. No, I don't. I'm good. So for a while, it took me I don't know, a long time to realize that I don't have to. I get to. That's the load and the adaptation. So that change I got was my adaptation. So here's the insight I really want you to get. When the load increases, meaning gets heavier, don't think it means that you're being punished or that you're getting weaker. Not so. Load calls for something, and it calls you to notice the strength. You haven't needed until now. Maybe you didn't need that back there, but you need it now. So over time, with me, I know I had my shares of loads. And over the years, the doctors had even given me diagnoses, not undiagnosed. They gave me diagnoses that I could have easily claimed as part of my identity. My family members tell me all the time that they're diabetic, or that they have high blood pressure, or they have. Well, that's an identity I chose not to have. So I say, yeah, hypertension may be a part of my life. But this is the concerns they had. They didn't want me to think, but I could have. I had heart concerns back in the day, hypertension, sleep apnea, and I even had the possibility of COPD. But I realized something very early on. I had to refuse to own these diagnoses as my identity. But let me tell you something, that takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of sitting. Why? Because for me, it takes a lot of work, because once fear gets a hold of my mind, it's not easy to loosen its grip. And then the nervous system adapts to whatever you choose to accept. So when they get finished telling you all your diagnoses, you're not going to get any better, because unless you endure that load and adapt to the fact that it's not my identity. I mean, really adapt to it. Don't just say, that ain't true. I cancel. That's nonsense. You have to sit down and put in the work, do a little research, and actually sit, breathe, accept your health, not your diagnoses. Today, I can say that I am the healthiest I've ever been in my life. But here's the thing, the reason why I say that is because it feels awesome and it keeps healing continuously. You never heal and stop. You're always healing. You heard the song? You're stronger than you know. That was the song. That doesn't mean those old diagnoses have completely disappeared from your life. It just means that the diagnosis does not define your life or your health. And I don't have to make the diagnosis my story. So healthy is a state of mind. And so when they told me about the high cholesterol and the anemic stuff back in the day, I read about it and I understood it. But one thing that sticks out like a sore thumb is if I accept it and start telling everybody, this is my condition, this is what I have, then I get to keep it. I don't want it. So I just go ahead and say, I'll go ahead and live with it. And then I'm going to figure out what to do. And I'm going to do some research. And most everything, I must say, I made it past, especially little things. Nah, this is not little. When I had plantar fasciitis, you guys would have never known. It was just 2 years ago. I had plantar fasciitis. My hips, my knees, my meniscus was torn. But I walked around here all those days with that pain, but I took the load and I decided that I'm going to do certain things, and whatever the research tells me, I'm going to experiment with my body. I'm going to see which one of these work, and I'm going to keep that because that works. No surgeries came about. all of that. The thing is, as I consistently sit with myself, do the research, I listen for insights. And I'm not saying I'm sitting here going, okay, what you got to say to me right now? I'm not saying that. You could be driving, and it will say, you know what, stop over there and just for argument's sake, get some Pepto-Bismol. You might want to know what's going on here. I don't know. You don't have to know the diagnosis. Don't be going in to look for diagnosis. What's going on, what it's feeling. And just let it go. It might say, get that Pepto-Bismol. Oh, it might say, you know what? Go ahead. You need some of that bone broth. Because you know how people have these different things and the body be calling you to do stuff. But I consistently sit with myself so that the body can call me. But here's the thing. The body will always tell you how to support you. You just got to do what it says. Because the minute you get a solution and you decide that, oh, not today. I wanted to go there. It's told me to stop by CVS and get this. Or maybe it told me to go by Walmart and pick up a snack of this snack. Oh, no, I won't do that today. Okay, well, don't listen to me. This is your oneness with spirit and you talking. Well, then don't listen to me then. But you will. When you get tired of this, you will. And then you will say, oh, the doctor may say, well, wear a brace on that knee. I never wore a brace. Do you know what a brace does according to science? I'm a science person, not a medical person. So the brace keeps that knee right there. Flexing is going to be hard to do when it heals because you're healing it into a certain stiffened position. If you have hands that are weakening from arthritis, you don't let them do it, you push. So I connect that mind, body, and spirit, and I really know that wisdom is the next thing in the climb. Because once you do that and you keep practicing and you keep doing, the only thing you got is wisdom. So when you take the classes, oh yeah, by the way, in the fall, we're having classes. When you take those classes in the fall, you're going to learn that your oneness with spirit is already within you and it's waiting for you to learn how to live with it, how to manifest with it, and also how to be transformed by it. So I don't start my journeys with fear anymore. I did because I go, but in the trepidation. Oh, no, I just sit with my oneness with spirit. And I know I'm setting off to my new beginnings. So from my oneness with spirit, this is what happens. I start to discover how to move through whatever load has been placed on me. You can do it. I remember 2 years ago, the pain in my feet, how bad it was. I just stayed with my oneness with spirit and did all the things that it was saying. But the main thing it was telling me to do was soak my feet. And that's a job. You got to get the bucket. You have to set it with the warm water. You got to do all of these things. But guess what? I did not say I don't feel like doing all that work. That is where the rubber meets the road. That's work. I take it's not a bucket, it's a foot massage thing. I bought this foot spa, it's fabulous. Boom, turn it on. I'm going to sit there and I'm not going to be worried about all these little things I got to do out there. Sit. You get it? Because some people don't like doing that. It's too much. I don't feel like sitting still. I don't have time to sit still. Really? So you have time to be sick? Come on. So 30 years ago, with all of the stuff I be going through, I might have said something like, look, I give up. I'm not trying to do this. But I don't shrink. I don't shrink. I don't shrink like that anymore. Instead, I listen. I get up and go about my business. Later down the road, I get that insight. And then I make the changes that I hear. And then I recover. Never been better. Legs, feet, knees, no surgeries. Doctor said, well, if you come back, we might have to do surgery. I hate that word. Let me just see what I can do first. And if I couldn't have seen at this maturity level that I've come in spirit, if I couldn't have seen, if I didn't know about the research I know about, I would have went to somebody holistic and seen them. I will not always run to the diagnostic, well, not the diagnostic, to the medical doctor. I got a primary physician now, but it has to be really something that I can't understand. And I first have to go somewhere to understand. Then I'll go to him or her. But I do have this doctor that I do like because this doctor is nice. He listens to me. He doesn't tell me, he listens, he hears me. So I wasn't just dealing with pain all these years. I was dealing with carrying a load. But the biggest part about the pain, it wasn't just the pain. My body, my mind, body, and spirit was learning how to adapt. And I learned to trust my body. I learned how to trust spiritual practice for everything, whatever I needed in life and the whole thing. But above all, I learned this big thing, how to trust the process. You don't trust the process when you're sitting there analyzing it and trying to make it sound good to other people. When you stop telling people stuff, you don't have the answers. So just keep going with the flow. No matter what load life places on you, the next step in that climb is already in you. So take it. Just don't fear the load because the load's coming. Don't put the fear because the fear don't take too long. Trust the oneness within you to adapt, to strengthen, and to reveal that next step to you. And it's also going to show you the version of you that you're looking to become. But every load is not easy. Some are. However, oneness within you, the oneness within you is, you got to remember, is greater than any load placed on you. Sitting with it, your body has to adapt, your mind has to adapt, and your spirit constantly works with you together as one. And your body adapts to everything based on how much you exercise. You might want to ignore that and say, I don't think so. It's based on your age, and it's based on your recovery, and it's based on the quality of food you eat and sleep. Fight it if you will. Because when the load changes your body sends you signals. And when you don't follow those signals and do what it needs, you'll see signs that you don't want to see. You don't want that. So those signs are for adaptation. And things are being asked of you. So this is what I need to say. Be curious instead of panicking. People panic because they remember how bad so-and-so was the last time. But don't panic, be curious. Wonder what that feeling is right there before you go running over there. Because once they give you the diagnosis, to me personally, doctors have bad bedside manners where they're telling you about your stuff. If I read about my stuff, I can take it a little bit better. So let me hear what you think this is and all the research that we got. I had this doctor, well, not a doctor in the medical field, the doctor as far as in my training is spiritual, as a minister. Oh my God, they taught us so much about medicine. I'm talking about holistic and spiritual medicine. But the thing was this, be curious, not, oh my God, what was that? What was that? Because what did you just do? You raised the nervous system to now go crazier. You tensed it. But parasympathetic, that breath causes parasympathetic. Once you get that parasympathetic going, you are calm and you can hear, you can listen. And the body will tell you what it needs. But again, I'm going to say this again, you better do what it asks. Don't skip that store. Don't skip that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And don't say, well, I have, I don't even want to go there. That whole phase back in the 90s, when in early 2000s, when they went into this forks over knives and people said, okay, I'm just going to let go of meat altogether, which is another building block to the body because God, it wouldn't have been created for our bodies. And if you look at the science, you'll see But it was just something that people didn't read the science. They just saw those things and they just went after that. Because I even was one of the people that went there, but my body didn't react to being free of any of that. I needed everything. I need my carbs and all of that. And then I had a new client. He's so nice. And he's really a big man. And he said, I'm even willing to give up. He said, I said, what are you willing? Because this is the most important thing. If you don't give me these answers, I'm not taking you on. But I said, what are you willing to do for your newfound health? And he said, well, I'm even giving, the way he said this, I'm even willing to lose weight and give up my carbs. I said, oh, don't do that. You're not giving up any carbs. Because people think, oh, I can't eat this because this is what's going to make. Don't be so general. Let's see for you what we need to be talking about. Let me go over you and keep practicing with you. Then we will hear. Then this, because I know, but I don't have to tell him. But then I know what's in me will tell me by listening and watching his body. I know what he needs. And then I could say, oh, you know what? Get some salmon today. And they really listen. That's what happens there, because they go, well, you know what? I didn't try that, so let me try it. And I make it very simple. And then once I start talking to the way they hear me, it starts to get better. Because you see, low doesn't mean something has gone wrong by no stretch of the imagination. It just means something new is being asked of you. That's adaptation. And when you get to know what it is, then you can trust the body to tell you what it needs. And guess what? You're in partnership with that thing. I'm in partnership with this body. And I listen, experiment, observe, and adapt. And if it ever gets too much, then I'll go to a regular MD. But I give my body what it needs, and I hope you do too. And it's different from ignoring pain and begin and say, oh, I don't believe that. Oh, I know I'm going to heal. Really? By what? What do you know? What do you do? So you have to be, and I had to be, willing to become the person who can carry this load, carry this pain through the adaptation process. So curiosity and spiritual load is what it's going to take. You got to go, ooh, that load. What is this? Or, all of a sudden, everything starts going wrong and you're like, what is this? That's the curiosity, not asking somebody else just yet. That's how you become to know the truth more deeply. You might not know the answer right then and there, but you can ask. Because the Lord's purpose is not to hurt you. You heard that again in the reading. You heard me say it 4 or 5 times. The Lord's purpose is to call forth that strength in you that you didn't even know you possessed. So don't be afraid of the climb. That's another name for the load. Don't be afraid of it because you got to go up it. Don't be afraid to climb even when you got that load on you. Because here's the reason for that. The climb is going to take you to your next becoming, your next journey, your new beginning. And every step of that journey begins and it brings a new load. So let's remember that. So let's trust as we close out. Let's trust that every step in the climb is bringing you closer to your greatest manifestations. When life places a load on you, you need a place you can go where you can learn and grow and adapt to the spiritual loads. That's what this community is here for. Communities like this don't just happen. They're created, they're nurtured, and they're sustained by the people who see what happens, especially what happens here, is good for them. So if this community has supported you, inspired you, or helped you take your next step in the climb, you'll support it. Your gift helps make sure it's here for the next time life asks you or asks something of you. Your gift helps keep this work alive. So thank you for your strength. Thank you for seeing how spiritual load strengthens people through your giving. So as we wrap up our time together, remember this: spiritual load summons your strength. Don't get it twisted. Because curiosity is the practice of sitting with yourself and asking in self-conversation, you and you, what does this load want from me? And the more you sit with yourself, the easier it is to gain insight about spiritual load, your spiritual load. And this is the deal: the quantum field is always supporting you in spiritual load, under spiritual load, because you got the load. So until we meet again, stay curious under spiritual load. And so it is.